Yo, what is going on, guys? This is Jax YGO here today, and today we're coming at you with my updated list for the upcoming March format. So we just had the remote duel YCS, so I felt like now is a good time to keep you guys informed on what I'm going to play, because after the YCS we kind of know what exactly we can expect now. I think the format has definitely solidified itself. Again, it's kind of reminding me of Bold format. It's taken a while to finally solidify, so we know what staples to main deck, what our ratios should be, and what we should be side decking, right? And what decks obviously to anticipate for. The last time I did a deck profile, I actually did not know. I did know about it, but I was just starting to hear about it. I think maybe the Brave Pile deck, like the random combo, the 3-axis and all that stuff that just makes the unbreakable board. That was not heard of. It wasn't on the competitive scene exactly yet. So yeah, my other lists weren't really prepared for that kind of deck, and now I want to show you what I'm playing so I am prepared for those decks, because I have played a couple of them, but honestly weren't hard matchups realistically. Pretty easy to get around when you're prepared for them. But so yeah, so with regards to this list, I've actually gone 4 locals in a row undefeated. If you guys seen like my status post, that's what I mentioned. And then after that, I actually played 2 more locals this week, and I didn't win. I topped both of them, so I came second in the one. And then today we actually just had a box tournament over at a locals, their Nerds Cafe over in Woodstock. It was really fun. I lost out round 2. I lost out round 2 I couldn't control it. Like I didn't misplay or anything, but what it was I played Invoked and I just couldn't gas through the board game 1. And then game 2, I had like the worst hand I've ever seen myself get with this deck. It was a Vice Typhon, a Necro Slime, a DDD Headhunt, and then 2 hand traps. And they weren't very effective hand traps. They're more so, they were good, but like I wasn't really fully prepared to play Invoked, as a lot of people probably aren't. So I just had to hope for the best, and I just couldn't. Like, he still had the combos and stuff, so I was like, oh, whatever. But it is what it is, right? Sometimes it just happens. You can't do anything about it. And then with regards to the other tournament this week, I came second place, and the funny thing is, I actually lost to the DDD Mirror. So yeah, I lost to the DD Mirror, and it's a guy who actually watches this channel, funny enough. Your name's Daniel? Yeah, Daniel, I think. So if you're watching this, dude, congrats, you beat me. Yeah, basically what I found out was, I won game 1, and then games 2 and 3, I opened 1 card that wasn't a starter and 4 hand traps. They were like part of a combo, like it was like Copernicus one game and Griffin the other game, but with 4 hand traps they do nothing. So if you don't, it's basically whoever has more gas at that point will win. Because what I found is in the mirror match, if you can't Nibiru the mirror match, like you can't, or make sure they can't get access to the Machine X, like you're screwed. Like if you don't have enough gas, they're just gonna keep sucking your cards up, and you just lose them, and ultimately just lose in the mirror. So that's actually one interesting thing I found out, because I never really came against the mirror match. So yeah, that's a thing. So yeah, but regardless, like today was awesome. Like I had such a good time, and what blew my mind was the guy was part of the group that came. There was a bunch of guys from another place. There's kind of like a mash of people that came to this locals today. It was for a box. It was a box tournament, right? So these guys came down, and then I was actually playing the mirror match again today. And like after, I was like, oh, like he's been playing the deck for a while, but he's getting used to the support. And I was like, oh, like are you watching, like, are you doing like DDDs? Like, are you looking at like deck profiles and combos? Like, yeah, man, like I'm pretty like stuck on this one guy. I was like, oh, do you watch Jacked YGO? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, wait a minute, aren't you hit? I was like, yeah, dude, I'm Jacked YGO. So like this is, and all the guys that were with him were like, oh man, like we were watching your videos and stuff. I was like, it blew my mind. I'm like, wow, like people are actually like, I'm just meeting random people that watch my videos. It's kind of nuts. Like, I don't know where this is all coming from, but man, it's pretty crazy, to be honest. Like, it made me feel so happy, right? It made my day. So I was like, that's awesome, dude. So yeah, but congrats to the winner of the box tournament today. It was a hell of a lot of fun, and yeah, I still pulled the Water Enchantress card out of 6 packs, so I was pretty hyped, and I got OTS pulls too. So yeah, guys, so there's not too much. So I'm gonna break it down more so when I get in the deck profile, because this format, you really have to break down your ratios. Now that we're more of a competitive deck and we play hand traps for once, we really have to break down like mathematical like ratios. Like it really has to make sense now, especially given that you essentially need 2 hand traps against these decks now to stop them doing from whatever. It's like there's always those problem decks in the format, but Scythe is an issue. And the only way to really stop it right now is 2 hand traps. You need 2 hand traps or a good time nib when they don't have something that really stop nib. So yeah, I have all my math breakdowns and what I'm actually playing. So I have a couple new cards that I am testing now that weren't part of actually what I was playing that I decided to play. But yeah, I'll break down the whole list when I go into it. So I think I've been talking long enough. I think you guys want to see the list. It'll just be a deck profile today. I'm gonna try to separate some videos for the course of the time, and just to see. There's not any big events coming up, so I can't say I'll probably try and aim to like win another regional coming up, but that's not for like another month or so. So I'm not really too anticipated of that. But yeah, before I get into it, man, I want to give like a huge shout out to Pack. So Pack obviously took this deck to another level, going top 8. And like, man, like just watching him pilot it was just nuts. Like, yeah, you got to give the man a shout out, man. Like going top 8 in the YCS when he still hasn't like fully practiced the deck. Like he was crushing people, man. Like unfortunately lost to that Sanctum, but man, like it's just awesome. Like to see that deck get representation now, it's really giving our deck the vision it needs. You know what I'm saying? So it's awesome to see, like, if anything, like he's the guy to be pawning it, right? I mean, it just gives the deck such good exposure, and it's what the deck needs, man. It's just what it needs. So, man, Pack, if you're watching this, man, I don't know if you are, but like, congrats to you, dude. Like, you killed it, man. To go top 8 with this deck in a like 700 person tourney, I think, or something like that, like, it's just awesome. So, yeah, definitely one of the harder decks to pilot, especially for a tournament like that, right? So, yeah. Anyways, guys, I want to show you my list and my mathematical breakdowns and what I'm playing and what I think you guys should be playing. It'll be a full breakdown on my list and all my reasons, right, as always. So, yeah, so without further talking, let's just get right into this. Let's go. Whew, okay, guys, so let's get right into the deck profile. So, before I like get into this, I noticed like when I'm like talking kind of in the background, like when I'm here it's fine, but when I'm talking like in the background, my voice doesn't come out amazing. I do have like a fairly expensive microphone that I used to use for like action sports. Like I used to be like a sponsored, like yeah, like whatever, right? But I can't find it anywhere, and it is really good for sound quality. So if I can find it again, I'll start using that. I'll look around for it because it was like a $250 microphone at the time or something like that. So yeah, I think I should honestly start getting stuff like that. I mean, I'm getting YouTube money now, right? So I might as well start using that towards the that stuff, right? I haven't used any of that, so interesting thing to note. So yeah. So guys, let's jump right into the deck profile. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through my ratios. Then after I'm gonna lay them out on like based on starters, hand traps, and then like lay out like the percentage ratios of what you should be seeing and why I'm exactly playing like what certain things at 1, certain things at 3. Like it'll make sense when I show you guys. It's a lot to explain, but let's just jump into this. So by the way, like this mat is sick. I placed first place it was first place at my locals. I actually played 3 locals this week, my bad. My own locals, the Carta Magical locals, and then the one out in Woodstock. So I won the locals at my home place, and this was the mat for this week. So I had no clue about this mat. I just came in, picked it up. I was like, yo, what is this mat? I actually love this mat. It looks amazing. So yeah. So starting out, guys, I'm going to go, so the standard 3 ofs, like I don't really have to explain these, do I? You know what I mean? And then the 3 Kepler, so could probably go up here. But yeah, guys, there's like no surprise to this, right? I mean, 3, 3, 3, 3. There's nothing, no surprises. Like I always... like this is like on repeat, right? You play these at 3 no matter what in the pure, and even in the synchro, you should be playing these at 3 anyways. I think a lot of people want to see me playing like the hybrid and the synchro because that's like my roots, and I kind of want to start building that up again. And it's definitely a really fun version of the deck, right? So I'm gonna go for that at some point soon. But like I said, I'm just trying to focus now on making this really competitive because it's still evolving in the format, right? And then once that's out of the way, I can start doing more stuff with the synchro build. So yeah, obviously those are just straight up 3s, and then so let's get to the 1-ofs. So Orthros, Ragnarok, Thomas, let's do the pendulums first. So yeah, I'm doing those, and then there. So you have 6 utility cards, so you're 6 1-ofs, right? These are the cards you just don't want to see ever, kind of thing. Well, not really. You want to see Orthros. Actually, Orthros is a card you actually want to see. It's actually part of like your combo pieces, so you actually do want to see Orthros. You only want to see these 3 if you have a gate in hand, so you really don't want to see them. Like I said, today I was so disappointed, man. Going second, I knew I lost right away when I opened this headhunt and 2 hand traps. Like the theory, like the probability of drawing a hand like that is literally under 1%. So I just didn't understand. I was like, it's whatever. It's Yu-Gi-Oh. So yeah, but you have to play these. Ragnarok's going to stay at 1. I really like Ragnarok at 1, and you can just keep recycling it. Find ways around it, right? But yeah, you have to be playing Typhon and Lamia. Lamia is really good too because it helps you extend. That's the main reason why it's there, is because, like if you're baiting stuff out or you need like a last resort to go like, they can like ash your gate and then you can just normal summon Copernicus, use effect, foolish this, send the gate, special this, and then you're off to the races doing the Thomas Griffin play, right? So yeah, you have to play Lamia, especially in a format where we're seeing tons of hand trap. We're going to start seeing a lot of hand traps now, right? So you need as many extenders, and I'm still not on the Rage package, so I'll get into that soon. Like I was thinking about putting it back in, but I'm really tight for space. And the more you see like my deck and the ratios I'm playing, the more it'll make sense, because I'm not focusing on just bombarding. Like I'm not focusing on making this primarily like a 1 to 2 card combo and just stopping my opponent. I'm more so focusing on not losing to myself initially. So the last thing I want to do is lose to myself, because I did have a lot, like I said, like that one time when I DD mirrored, I opened like 4 hand traps consecutively, and then the game 1 I actually opened 3 hand traps, and I was lucky enough to actually have Copernicus Griffin. So that was a good hand, obviously, but if I had anything else, it would have been a bit weird. So yeah, but the theory behind having like the Rage in a 40 card, so this is a 40 card list. The theory behind having Rage and what's his name, Cerberus. Keep in mind, I actually gave the Cerberus and Rage over to my brother for now, because he's going to be piloting DDDs as well. But that's why I don't have them on me right now. But Cerberus and Rage comes up. It doesn't ever really come up for me, even when I get hand trapped a bunch, because the only time it really comes up is when you're opening Kepler and Griffin as your only 2 cards. That's really only when it comes up. And when I try to dig further into it, there's about a 6 to 7% chance of this. Of it actually happening, just seeing these 2 alone. I think it's like 6.5% chance, something like that. I was really looking into it, and that's really what it comes down to. So in reality, I found it just wasn't worth playing it when I can make more room for gas. And when I get into like my consistency cards, it'll really make sense, because now the deck is definitely going to be super consistent. So yeah, so that's just my theory behind not playing the Rage package. I do like it, and I was thinking, honestly, if it gets to more of the fact that like people are just going to be bombarding everyone with hand traps, I might think about it, just because it's just that option there. But at the same time, I'm going to have to cut some cards, because at that point, if I'm going to be doing that, I'm going to try to just play as many hand traps as I can at the same time if I do play the Rage package. So for now, I'm still keeping a backseat on the Rage package, but by all means, like I kind of bashed it bad the last time I did a deck profile, and I've never been like the biggest fan of them, because I think Cerberus is just a terrible card to draw. However, they still have utility purposes, and then Rage. Rage is a great card to show out in Nibiru. So a thing I think a lot of DD players don't know too, not DD players too, but a lot of people, the public doesn't know. Here's a tip that I think a lot of us have kept secret. If you get raged, if someone uses Rage on you, you can still imperm the Gilgamesh, because the way it works is that imperm isn't activating from hand; it's activating like on the field. Like it's a really weird, really weird thing, but it is a ruling, and I think a lot of people don't know that. So if you're playing against a DD player and they use Rage, you can definitely hit them with an imperm. Just keep that in mind, because I think I've actually seen people where I can see their hand or dueling book videos where they use Rage, and the guy has imperm and they don't use it. It's like, yo, you can use imperm. Just saying, like. It's like there's so many really weird restrictions and rulings with DDs, so that's something to keep in mind. So yeah, that is it for the DDD. So this is so we got 12, and then I think it's 18. Yeah, so it's about 18. I cut Orthros down to 1 because you really only need 1 of him, and I need to make more room. So I just was like, you know what, I'm just gonna play 1 Orthros. You can play 2 if you want, especially if you're not playing the Rage package, because seeing him in your open gives it a little bit easier access to Baron. But you'll see why it's not a problem shortly. So yeah, 18 cards. It's not like the Synchro where my theory behind it was half your deck should be DDs, because it's a little bit different play style where you need 3 to 4 combo pieces to work with just to make your full combo with the Synchro build, right? But yeah, so just your utilities and your standard 3-ofs is all you need. So your utility cards at 1 and standard 3-ofs, right? So going on to the contracts, I'm going to lay out all the DD and Dark contract stuff out first, the core engine. So 3 gate. 1 license, 1 Swamp King. This is standard. I don't have to explain it. You could play 2 Swamp King if you want to, but I don't think especially now with the pure version. I really don't think you should. And then a lot of people want to play 2 of this. It is nice, like when you hard draw it, but you got to think it's also a brick. Like usually when I brick, I see this in my hand. Yeah, you don't want to see your utility 1 of, so this is why you play this at 1. And even if you have to use it for like recycling a card, it is what it is. This isn't like your ultimate win con. The deck's so the board the deck ends on is so strong, so it just really doesn't matter. This card too, Headhunt is crazy. So yeah, Headhunt is a present, right? So this is a present. Yeah, Headhunt is a present that Konami gave to the DD players. Yeah, this card is Jesus, man. Like if they imperm you for 3, like this card will win you the game. Like it's like, okay, cool, there goes 3 of your cards. You have 2 cards left while I probably have a hand trap in my hand. Yeah, good luck. And then if you can't kill me as well, I'm just gonna follow up, destroy you. Like this card literally makes it so the deck plays around draw puts. Like it's just so crazy, man. Like Headhunt is just easily like the most powerful card in this deck. It's literally just nuts. Okay, so now consistency cards, dude. So 3 small world, double map, and 1 for 1. So you guys, you don't if you're thinking small world or Puri, I know the space, but I made it so I could play 40 cards and play 3 small world and 2 Puri, which means, so when I break down the math, okay, I'm gonna have a 99% chance at seeing at least 1 starter card, right? I'm gonna have an 89 to 90% chance at seeing a 2-card combo playing all these, and I'm gonna have a 70%, I believe it's a 70% chance that I open a 3-card combo with the combo pieces, like just the combo pieces alone. So that's even excluding like if you have like these 2 and like you can get Griffin and the slime already in hand, stuff like that. Like let's just say like what I'm saying with like the 70%, like the 70% probability of seeing your 3 combo pieces, I'm talking like just alone of like these cards with like the cards that ultimately give you the 3-card combo. But at the same time, you got to think Griffin and Swirl Slime with any other DD is also the 3-card combo. So you're thinking it's honestly roughly like a 75% chance that you're going to see your Barong combo within your opening hand when you're playing all of this. So you don't have to be decisive on being like, oh, should I play Puri or Small World? Because what I'm doing here is showing you can play both. Like, and it works because when you open both of these, this is 2-card combo. You search, so this will grab you. This will grab you your Griffin typically, and then this will grab you your Copernicus, 2-card combo. Or if this can't bridge into a Griffin and like can only go into Copernicus, just search out the Kepler search, and then it's always safer to go Copernicus than grab the what's it called, right? But yeah. So guys, I haven't actually I actually tested a little bit with this, but I haven't played in a tournament setting. But through just testing and playtest hands. I'm always like, I'm getting my 3-card combos, or at least my 2-card combos are all the time. And then the 3-card combos are very consecutive too. Like I'm seeing them very frequently. And yeah, 1 for 1, you cannot skip 1 for 1. 1 for 1 is the same as going like the Necro Slime gate combo, where you just end on the rank 6, the Link, the XYZ, double contract, and the Headhunt. Yeah, you have to play 1 for 1. That's a 1-card combo alone. That's crazy. And yeah, so yeah, so what I was doing before, what I was playing all these tournaments with was like this, So I can only get my hands on two Small World until today. The card shop actually had 1, so I was able to get the 3rd one. But I was doing this, so this gave me, I'll go over my hand traps in a second, but I was going 2 Small World and 1 map. And the reason why it was really working for me was because there was actually quite a fair amount of times where I'd open map and Small World. And like I said, these 2 together are full combo. So I didn't want to just play like 3 Small World and get rid of map, because if I'm playing like a bunch of hand traps and then I see like I don't have enough gas in my hand or something, and then I open 2 Small World, well, I'm already negging 1 card, and then I have a Small World that's just sitting there. So I'm basically negging, like, I'm just negging too much, right? But now that I have all this, I kind of just want to see Small World as like, it's kind of like turned into a Desires for me now. I don't know, where you kind of just want to see it. But if I compare these 2, it's just nuts, right? So yeah, before I was playing double Veiler because I just want to maximize my hand traps. And like I said, I was kind of clogging too much on the hand traps and seeing like cards that weren't starters. It was kind of frustrating me. So I don't know. These did pretty good, but honestly, I figured if I can fit in 2 more consistency cards over just 2 Veilers, I think it's ultimately worth it, because I still have a bunch of hand traps here. I'll show you. So Yeah, so that's what I'm running for consistency, guys, and it's honestly very good. And then like in a 40 card deck, typically you should see at least one of these in an open hand, one of these cards. For sure, if you're on 6, you should definitely be seeing one of these cards at least. And like I said, Small World is amazing in this deck because Small World turns in any hand, like it's just nuts. Like I'll go over Hand Trap more when I'm or Small World more in a bit here, but yeah, when I lay out the hand traps. So hand traps, 3 Nib, 3 Ash, 3 Ogre, and so I'm gonna space this out a little bit more, and the 1 Phantasme. So let's just get a little bit of room here. Yeah, so that looks pretty good, right? So this is 10 hand traps. The Phantasme is for the Small World. So let's bring Small World in here, right? So the Phantasme is for the Small World. And the reason why is because Phantasme bridges extremely, extremely well with this deck. A lot of people aren't eccentric. You can play both if you want, but the Phantasme bridges so well. And Phantasme, people don't realize, is actually a pretty good card this format. If you're playing... So I had this one match against Cyber's Eldritch, where when they go into Link Devotee, you drop this, and then you draw 3 cards. And what I did was I actually drew into a combo piece, a Veiler, and a Nib. And I shuffled back one of my Patent License, and I just had a nuts hand along with the Nib and Veiler. I actually had an Ash in hand already too. So I just ruined his day. Like I just ruined his day. Like you drop Nib and they just can't do anything. They're just like, okay. Or if they use Griffin Rider, if they have Griffin Rider, they have to do something to that. But if they don't, which he didn't at the time, all I had to do was go Nib, and I still had 3 hand traps in my hand, or 2 hand traps in my hand with full combo. Actually, the 3-card combo. Like this card is good because every single combo deck right now is playing Hulk or some form of Link summoning mechanic to get into their plays. So this actually really is pretty nice to open. But the main thing is too, like I said, these are the most impactful cards, and if you draw any combination of these, it's really strong against these combo decks. But keep in mind, you're not always playing against them, so I think it's good to just have a variety of 10 when you're running 40 cards. That way you're also up in the ante on the consistency, right? So when you're going, this is actually what I was doing before, and it was just, I always see 2 hand traps, because when you're doing this in a 40 card deck, you have a 50% chance. It's a 48 or a 49% chance at seeing 2. And when you're running it like this, it goes down 10%. So what I did here, right, was I initially dropped my ability to see 2 hand traps by 10%, and then I kind of just up. It doesn't go up 2% when you're going up consistency cards, but it goes up quite a bit still. And I basically just had to go to I'm roughly around 40% chance to see 2, which is still completely fine with me. And like I said, I'd rather see consistency cards where I'm not going to lose. Like I said, if I'm going first, I don't want to lose to myself. You know what I mean? That's the worst feeling. And sometimes it happens. Like I said, when I had the Necroslime Typhon, like that just happens. Like you can't do anything about that. It's just stuff that like that happens, right? But when you're playing as many consistency cards like this as you can, you're almost guaranteed to see like your full Baron combo and play around multiple things. Because like I said, when you're going second and you're not being Scythe locked, you want to see gas. Like if you're playing like Invoked, you want to see gas. If you're playing like Tri-Brigade, you want to see, like, I don't know, like, you know, the decks that just don't lock you out of Scythe, or if you stop them from going Scythe, you have gas to play around their hand traps too, right? That's another thing with gas too, is that when you have a lot of gas, you can resiliently play through 2 hand traps and still effectively combo and end on something pretty good while still having probably a hand trap, at least 1 in your hand, right? So that's the theory behind this, guys, and really give Small World a try, because Small World, some people say, oh, it negs 1, like whatever, like, no. This card, it's just so good. Like, so if you open Ogre, if you open Phantasme, you get rid of Phantasme, bridge into Ogre, and then Ogre can transform into either a Kepler or a Copernicus. Okay, so the Ogre turns into Kepler or Copernicus. Small World, when you open Nibiru, same thing, Kepler or Copernicus. Small World, when you open Ash, I believe, yeah, when you open Ash, goes into anything, because then finally you go into Phantasmic. The only thing that Phantasmic can't bridge into is Typhon, which you're never going to bring that. That's never going to come up. And Orthros. Orthros you could sometimes, but I've never ever had it come up where I need a bridge into an Orthros, so it is what it is. So yeah, Small World is so good in this deck, and like I said, I'm being able to mix it with Puri Map. It's just amazing. Like I said, having both these in your hand, like, I'm probably going like way off the charts about this here, but I'm just trying to like sell you guys on the fact that like if you play both of these, you're gonna see wonders. Like you'll see your 3-card combo a lot. You'll be able to resiliently play through hand traps. It's very strong. Like I said, the trend of 2 hand traps is going around. Yes, you can play the Rage package, which will help you in certain scenarios, but at the same time, you're more often than likely going to want gas to beat around the 2 hand traps. And then when you're playing 10 hand traps, essentially primarily want to see these, right? But this still counts as the hand trap to help you draw into these. So yeah, primarily like you're still roughly going to see 2 hand traps when you're playing 10, right? So I really had to make a hard decision on getting rid of these 2, but I went on it. And after just doing a little bit of test hands and testing with it with some people, really, really like it. It really brings out DDD's true colors when you're just maximizing your consistency while still running 10 hand traps, right? And 10 is definitely an optimal number, right? So that wraps up the main deck, guys. That's 40 cards solid, and I just like keeping it at 40. You could bump it up if you wanted to, because you don't want to see like, you kind of want to see them, but you don't at the same time. You don't want to see too many utility 1-ofs in your hand, because you're playing, I think, yeah, you're playing 8 maximum utility 1-ofs, so you have a decent chance at seeing, 2, not really, but you have a low chance at seeing 2. You're definitely going to see 1, though, at least 1 in your open hand, which is fine, because, like I said, opening at least 1 of them is actually pretty good, any of the utility cards, because you don't have to search them, right? So, yeah. So, moving on to the extra deck. That was quite a bit, eh? That was a lot of explaining. So, moving on to the extra deck. So, we're going with the, like, I don't have to really explain the extra deck here. Sorry, that was just a lot of talking. So, I don't have to explain the extra deck much. This is all standard, like, let's just do this. So let's lay it all out, because there's no surprise. Like, would I change anything in the extra deck? No. So this has been the exact same since I started piloting this deck. Here's the last XYZ. I never have to explain anything about this. Diarc's going to stay. Diarc has won me 4 games in time. Like, 4 games in time. And the people that lose in time just get very frustrated. I know, but it is what it is. Like, it's a free win. It's like, if we have 5 minutes, I'm going first. I'm gonna have to take at least 5 minutes to combo with this deck, and I can also make, the crazy thing is too, a lot of the time I can make Baron and still be able to do Diarc play, so I'm protected from burning my opponent. It's actually just nuts. Like, Diarc is 100% staying, and like I don't have to explain anything here. Like, I mean, this is what I've just been piloting since day 1, right? Zeus is what primarily makes this deck nuts, and so is King Tell here. So I'll actually kind of go over these a little bit once I dig into the side deck. But for now, like, I mean, there's nothing else to be said. Like, this is all standard, right? You run 3 Gilgamesh because of gas purposes, and there are combos that you do run through 3. Yeah, like, there's literally nothing to be said about this. High King Genghis is an amazing card. Like I said, I think everyone's jumped on the board where you should be playing Typhon now, thankfully, because Typhon really gives you a lot easier access to make this, while also letting you extend through certain plays and giving you opens up a lot more combo options, right? The extra deck's perfect. I don't think for the period it'll ever change. It is what it is. Like, there's no explaining really to be done, right? So moving on to the side deck, so 3 Gamma here. Gamma is so good. If you compare this with another hand trap, Gamma's crazy. A lot of the times going into games 2 and 3, like if I'm going second, I usually have 3 hand traps because I'm typically sideboarding into, before it was about 19, and now I believe it'll drop down to about 17, because I'm running 10. Yeah, it goes to about 18. No, I think it goes to 18, yeah. Actually, no, driver's not a hand trap, so it goes to about 17, 18 hand traps roughly going second. So having Gamma there, especially, Gamma's the most impactful one. Yeah, Gamma does so many things. Clearing the body and just negating the card is so choke. It's so choke for the opponent, man. And then I'm going, so for the 2-ofs, I'm going double Imperm, double Token Collector. So, double Imperm, because it's just there for the Flunder matchup, really. I don't want to deal with Flunder, but this will typically go in against a lot of things like the Hulk matchup. It's just, it might go back to 3 because I might put this into 3 because I'm not running Veilers anymore. But I kind of need the space in the side deck, so we'll see. But like I said, I'm not running Veiler anymore. So Imperm might go to 3, I don't know. But like I said, if you compare this with a hand trap, or like you compare any other hand trap with a hand trap, this format, it's just going to work. Now, Token Collector, I think, is why this deck is going to do wonders this format. So Token Collector, I think, is going to be the most effective hand trap this format because every combo deck needs their tokens. Every combo deck. Like, even like Prank Kids, they need tokens, right? And the crazy thing is that this is a level 4 fiend, which is just nuts. So a lot of people seen like when Pac put this in, he pointed out that it's a level 4 fiend. And what I think a lot of people like looked over is that yes, Caesar level 4 fiend, and that's why when this card's good in the meta, this deck is so good in the meta, because literally what happens is when you token collector them, and Pac made a good point. So Pac made a really good point on when you token collector a Prankins player, you have this card out, and then any level 4, like ideally Copernicus, right? But you bring it out, and if they don't have Butler, you just straight up go like this. You just summon this over that. This is a quick play soul charge, so they can't play around it, and then you're forcing the Zeus on them. So it's crazy. Like the Prankid matchup auto loses. It makes it a lot easier when you're playing token collector, especially when you're bombarding them with hand traps on top of that. But yeah, this card this card is ridiculous. This format. It'll like if you don't want to deal with the stupid like Auroradon stuff and whatnot, and even Prankids. Like Prankids makes tokens, right? Those are primarily the two decks that they're going to be the most popular decks for sure, and you really want this card, and that's why I think this deck's gonna be wonders. Like I said, level 4 fiend immediately gives you access to the cards you need in your to the rank 4 play, right? So yeah, nothing like the card's just too good this format, and like I said, it's too good in this deck because you're playing level 4 fiends, right? So yeah, so I'm going 3 Lancia. That's my last like multiple copy card. So 3 Lancia. I want to see this card as much as possible against certain matchups. I don't want to deal with, like I said, I don't want to deal with Flunderies, and Flunderies is kind of popular right now. No way. I don't want to deal with that deck. No way. Dragon Link is very popular too. This card, along with another hand trap, is devastating to Dragon Link. And the mirror match. The mirror match, if you open this in Nib, it's game. Like, it's actually stupid, but Lancia is very solid against the mirror match. Yeah. So, yeah, please run Lancia this format. I like running at 3, but I think you should be running at 3 as well, unless you don't have the room. And for the one-ofs, 1 Call By, 1 Red Reboot, 1 Errors, 1 Eternal Darkness. So this is here because there's a lot of these locals that, like if I go into like the Carta Magica locals, typically I have to be prepared for trap decks because there's a lot of random trap decks that go in that event. That's kind of what that's for. Therefore, if I'm playing my own locals, I can literally take these out because no one at my locals plays back row unless it's a surprise. Again, like I know everyone at my locals will play combo in this format anyways, primarily. And these two, so Call By is sided because I just don't have the room to main deck it. It's a very good card, but it might go in the main deck if people are really bombarding me with the hand traps. But like I said, I really don't have the room for it. And then 1 Dark Contract with Eternal Darkness because this is an auto win again against Flunderies, against Sword Soul, and against not Prankids. Oh my God, Phantom Knights. So this is an auto win against those decks. People are main decking this, which is alright, I guess. It's cool to main deck, but the only thing is when you're main decking it, it's bad going second. Like, do you want to see this going second? No, right? Because when you see this going second and this isn't a hand trap. Say you open like Ghost Ogre and this. What if that was a hand trap, dude? You could have just won the game. Then you Ghost Ogre their card, and then they go off, and then you're like, okay, if this was like a nib or something or like another hand trap, well, I could have saved myself from dying because this is just dead now. You know what I mean? This is just good if you win the die roll, and you always want to side this in if you're going first, if it's good against the matchup, right? But like I said, like not every deck is going to lose to this card too, right? So I wouldn't recommend main decking it. Okay, so guys, that is the deck list that I am playing for this format. So, yeah, before I get off of this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out my ratios and break down the mathematical theory of why my ratios are the way they are and why I'm just playing what I'm playing, right? So let's get into that. I'll lay out these cards, put all this stuff to the side, and we'll just jump right into my breakdown of my deck theory. I don't know. We'll get into this. Okay guys, so this is the most important part of the deck profile. This is the mathematical breakdown here. So I laid everything out in content to where they should be for hand traps, one-ofs like the utility cards, and the cards that all contribute to the combo. So let's start off on the hand traps. So before, when I was running the 2 Veilers, the 1 map in the small world was taken out for the 2 Veilers. I had a 50% chance at seeing 2 hand traps. And it really worked because other than the games that I would lose, like the matches that I would lose, which, like I said, both times were out of my control. I just couldn't do anything about it. I was 2-0-ing. I did not go into game 3. It was just 2-0s, 2-0s, 2-0s. And I wouldn't win every dice roll because I'm seeing the hand traps that are enough to shut out all the decks that I'm playing against, right? Like I'm saying, when I'm playing the base deck, I've played probably about 4 of those so far. I haven't lost to one because I'm just shutting them out of their plays, and then I just kill them I just killed them on the follow up. Like or if I just go first, I just win anyways because the deck it's not that bulletproof. The deck just honestly, it's a good deck, but it really isn't. There's a lot of other better options, I think. I don't know how popular the deck's going to be going forth, but the Tenny stuff for sure, because Tennies are pretty strong going second. But yeah, so when I drop this down to 10, I actually have a 40% chance of seeing 2 of these, and it works out. It still works out having 40% because when I'm going first, I don't want to lose to myself. So what I'm saying by that is I don't want to see, like I said, I had those games where I see 4 hand traps and a card that isn't even a starter. I'm just losing to myself. So by playing 10 hand traps, it's a lot harder for me to see 3 in my hand, but it's still very likely for me to see 2 in my hand. So to be able to see 2, like I said, it's 40% chance. And between winning the die rolls, which I typically actually win die rolls quite often, I don't know why, but I just do. Between winning and losing the die roll, it kind of balances it out. It still fairly balances it out because you have 10 going second cards, so it works really well. Now, so that's probably enough I have to explain for the hand traps. And like I said, Phantasmic is the 10th hand trap, but it still works in tandem because if you open this with another hand trap, it's still strong because you're typically drawing at least 2 cards to at least see something like a Nib or another Ash, which usually the Ash is a little bit late, but you want to just dig for the Nib, right? It just shortens your deck out. And if you're not going to lose on the follow-up, like to a Scythe, this just fixes your hand, and you're for sure going for the 3-card combo with a body on board. So, Phantasme, great card. Let's go on to... So, the utilities, I don't have to explain anything. There's 8 utility cards. You're more than likely going to see one of these in your opening hand, which is fine because they still all work together. It means you don't have to search out any of them. And then these are just pieces. So, when it comes to this now... So, I was saying earlier... When it comes to this now, this is all the combo pieces that are focused on the 3-card combo, right? We're playing 22 cards that are focused on getting us to the 3-card combo, right? And even Piri Map is still part of the 3-card combo because we're not thinking just the 3-card combo as Baron. We're thinking of the 3-card combo as any way so we can just get 3 cards, which inclusive of the Swirl Slime, and even other cards so we can like... at least like maybe a Copernicus and like a Griffin and a Kepler, which is still really good. It's strong to play through stuff, right? Stuff like that, right? Like that's going to be able to play through at least 2 hand traps, like fairly well, right? Especially the Swirl Slime and the Baron plays, right? So Piri Map still is really cool. And one thing I actually didn't mention about Piri Map that's actually cool, and I did this against one guy in one of the tournaments, was I had my combo in hand already, and I dropped Map, and I searched Ghost Ogre. And what I did was I normal summoned the Ghost Ogre, and Ghost Ogre just becomes a hand trap. That's like one way you can actually grab a hand trap is you just normal summon the Ghost Ogre, and this board you're typically gonna fill up 4 slots on your board, so you actually have room to just summon the Ghost Ogre afterwards, which is kind of nuts. You just have to reserve your normal summon, which doesn't always come up, but it actually has came up for me. It's kind of cool, but yeah, the map was kind of cool too. Is that you can pay half, sure, and just search out the Copernicus when you already have access to the Baron combo. Like say you still need an extra body to make the Baron combo. I've done this multiple times where I just grab the Copernicus, which isn't going to have the Foolish Burial effect, but it's fine because I still get Baron combo and my rank 4 plays, and I still get to do all the searching and stuff. So works out really well. So like I said, when you're playing 22, you have to see exactly 3 is a 60% chance of opening a total of 3 of these cards. It's a 60% chance of seeing exactly 3. Now, when you're adding in these cards, which can be inclusive with the Swirl Slime and the Griffin, it's roughly about a 65% chance. So like I said, about every 6 to 7 hands, you should be seeing the 3-card combo, which is really good. But to see the 2-card combo, you have a 90% chance. A 90% chance. Like, that's really, really good, right? And that's really something I like, because before I think I was on an 82%, I think it's 83% chance with the 40 cards and what I was playing before. It goes down to about an 83% chance or something like that. So, like I said, it's really bulletproof. It's really capable of playing through a lot of hand traps. Like I said, outside of like Nibiru, if they have like a Nibiru, if they have like an Ash and an Ogre, and you have like a lot of gas, you can still play through it. You can still definitely play through it. And even a not well-timed Nibiru, sometimes this deck can just straight up play through Nibiru because the extenders it has. But yeah, guys, it really just balances out for game state, like for the game state going first, second, for the games 2 and 3. This all just balances out very, very well. And yeah, I just thought I'd lay it all out for you guys just so you can get a better idea of what I'm talking about. And yeah, guys, I don't know. That's just the way I like it. And if you guys want to change it up, go ahead. But I think for me, this is personally the most consistent and consecutive way to play this deck. You can't just go War Crime and just play like a ton of hand traps. But if you're gonna do that, go towards the Rage package. You have to. But like I said, I tried doing this before and it worked completely fine. The Veiler over the map and the one small world. And like I said, the reason why I like mixing the two, even though I only had like 2 small world at the time, the reason why I like mixing the two is because when I did see both of them, it was 2-card combo instantly, plus whatever else I had in my hand. So guys, that is all I'm gonna have to say for today. The math is just there. The deck is very, very consistent, bulletproof for sure. And like I said, the last thing I want to do in this deck is lose to myself when I have the game 1 opportunity. That's the last thing I want to do. If I lose game 2 because I don't have enough hand traps, that's completely fine. I have games 2 and 3. It does come up, obviously, but the worst one is when you have the advantage of going first and then you don't win because you're too clogged in your hand or you just don't have the cards, enough consistency. That's where it gets to be a problem, right? So yeah, guys, I hope you guys like the list for today. And yeah, I'll be filming my vlog this week, so if you guys want to see that, that'll probably be out sometimes Wednesday. I'll get that vlog out probably Wednesday, and that's going to be a lot of fun. I love doing that. So are we going to take that locals? We'll see. I don't know. But my brother and I are both going to be on DDD. It's going to be kind of cool. So yeah, we'll see you guys later, and take care and stay jacked. You know what I mean? See ya.